Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Flexomaster. Today we are going to study what are photopolymer printing plates in flexography. So here we start with what are photopolymer printing plates. Chapter number 7. Let's go through what are photopolymers. Photopolymers are imaging composition based on polymers, oligomers, monomers which can be selectively polymerized and or cross-linked upon image-wise exposure by light radiation such as ultraviolet light. For final use, they are made into different forms including film, sheet, liquid, solution, etc., which find outlets in printing plates, photoresist, stereolithography, or 3D printing and imaging. Photopolymer formulations comprise of polymers, oligomers, monomers, and additives. Polymer bases for photopolymers including acrylics, polyvinyl alcohol, polyvinyl cinnamate, polyisoprene, polyamides, epoxies, polyamides, styrene block, copolymers, nitrile rubber, etc. They may be used along with oligomers, monomers, and additives. Polymers usually function as binders and determine processing characteristics as well as final physical properties of a cured photopolymer composition. Here is the structure of the plate. It contains protective foil, relief layer, and stabilizing foil. They are soft, elastic, dimensionally stable and high thickness accuracy. Different types of printing plates are available for various application and inks in flexography which differ in structure and thickness. So general introduction to photopolymer plate processing. Here uh, exposure of an unpolymerized flexoplates to an ultraviolet light UVA light in the wavelength range of 360 nanometers causes micromolecules by polymerization. This cross-linked micromolecules pervade the flexo layer, making it insoluble to washout solvents. No polymerizations, however, occurs in the exposed parts, which are then removed from the plate by means of a washout solvent. This process produces an exact printing relief. We come to step number 1, the back exposure. The back exposure is from the back of the plate. What are the effect of plate back exposure? The first step is plate making is pre-exposure, which is back exposure through the plate back without vacuum. Makes the layer 1 sensitive to light by using up the oxygen contained in the raw plate. Ensure a strong shoulder structure, improves relief anchoring of the lower layer, limits the washout depth. Effects of main exposure. The main exposure is done through the negative with the light penetrating the plate from the layer side. During main exposure, the relief is formed by photopolymerization. The details lines later half-tone are reproduced according to the transparent part of the negative and cannot be influenced later on. The main exposure time depends on the sensitivity of the plate batch, the quality of the negative film, the type and condition of the exposing unit, the length of the plate back pre-exposure, which is relief depth. To determine the appropriate main exposure time, a test exposure has to be carried out. The length of main exposures influences dot anchoring, shoulder angle, intermediate depths. Then the next step is washout. The effect of washout is those parts of the plate which have not polymerized are dissolved and removed by means of a solvent during the washout process. The process is supported mechanically by brushing. The relief depth is determined by combined action of washout time and back pre-exposure. The washout time must always be restricted to a minimum. The relief swells slightly during washout. The swelling intensifies the longer the plate is in contact with the solvent. If the washout time is greatly exceeded or an unsuitable washout solvent is used, reliefs, relief elements may become detached or damaged. The optimum washout time is determined by testing the suitable washout solvent which are environmentally friendly available with most of the plate manufacturers. Now, again, the next step is effects of drying. When you wash out the plate, the solvent is remain on the plate. It has to be dry. The washout solvent which has penetrated into the relief layer is evaporated during the drying process. Maintaining the specific drying times and a uniform temperature across the whole plate is essential. After drying, the photopolymer plates require a resting period of approximately 10 to 12 hours at room temperature to ensure a complete return to the correct dimension of the unprocessed plate. Deviation in thickness may occur if the resting period is shortened and post-exposure or after treatment started too early. Now, effects of post-exposure. Post-exposure means exposing the total plate without film, depending on the kind of image matter, solids, fine lines, and dots. The main exposure will allow more or less light to affect plate. As a result, there will be a parts in the relief that are less polymerized than others. Post-exposure causes these parts to become completely cross-linked. This gives the plate consistent properties. The final plate hardness is achieved only with sufficient post-exposure. And the post-exposure is done prior to light after treatment. For post-exposing, the plate is placed in the exposing unit where its face is exposed to UV light without vacuum foil. Choose the same length of the time for post-exposure as for main exposure. This lets you be sure that the plate thoroughly polymerized and can develop its optimum qualities in hardness, elasticity, solvent resistance, and cracking resistance. Now, the next step is light after treatment. The light after treatment ensures that the relief layer loses its tackiness. After treatment by exposures with UVC light after treatment means the advantage of easier processing than is possible with chemical after treatment for different types of plates. Cracks will also result in UVC light after treatment is carried out simultaneously and the temperature in the light after treatment unit is rises too high. Exposing the flexoplate to short wave UVC light removes the stickiness from the plate surface. In this process, the plate does not become matte but remains glossy, so that the results of UVC light after treatment cannot be monitored visually. It can only be felt. So now we finish here the chapter number 7, very short and very easy. And now we will continue to the chapter number 8 and the same topic, same chapter, what are photopolymer printing plates. And we will move on again to our other chapters ahead, which is digital photopolymer printing plates. Thank you very much for watching our channel and make sure that you comment on your comment box and subscribe my channel and looking forward to see you again. Thank you very much. Goodbye.